Welcome to episode 22 of the Poker Face podcast. The end of the road.
In this week's episode, Charlie and Alex take a road trip to a safe house in an old car with a big problem. Despite Luca's warnings, Charlie is desperate to seek out the help of Beatrix Hasp. But is she leading the Iguana to their target? Or is she one step ahead of the killer this time?
Grand Canyon Canyon.
It's a canyon named after the Grand Canyon. It's like this big local attraction. The lady in the store said that it's actually more of a gorge.
Good morning, Ian. How are you?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon Canyon's not a real thing. I looked into it.
Of course it's not.
That made me sad a wee bit.
Why did you look into that?
I hoped it was a real local attraction in Indiana. It seems the sort of thing they'd be excited about over there.
Oh, maybe. So we've came to the end of the road. Hopefully not the end, just the partial end.
Well, we can discuss that towards the end of the road podcast.
Okay.
Season finale is always good. We get a chance to look back over the past series and talk about the highs, the lows, and the ins and the outs.
We won't be doing that, will we? I've not prepared notes.
No, neither have I. We can wing it, like we always do.
Okay. And despite what you intimated last week, I was not disappointed with this week's episode. Of course, the door has not been slammed shut, but it's not been left open in a frustrating way.
No. I was hoping I might lead you to believe that the false finish was the real finish and start
agitating. I not been taking notes, and when you do that, you're always very aware of how long you've got left.
I think if you're watching it on the Peacock service, they go to an ad break at that point.
Well, they might have lost a few viewers then, turning the TV off.
Ryan Johnson did an interview. He talked about how much pleasure he took in the edit for that particular sequence.
Yeah, that was good. We'll get to that.
No doubt.
But before we do...
We're certainly not going to skip it.
Before we do, anything you want to... Oh, I have actually. I was going to say error and omissions, but it's more of a correction.
That's an error. If it's not an error, you don't have to correct it.
Okay, so two things on my part that I'll concede I might not have got entirely accurate.
I mean, to bookmark this particular point on the podcast.
First one, I claimed that Louis Theroux's autobiography last week was Through the Keyhole. In fact, it is Gotta Get Through This. So I think actually, morally, I'm still right. It's atrocious.
Through the Keyhole would have been better. Sorry, were you mixing up Louis Theroux and Lloyd Grossman? Is that what happened?
It could have been, yes. And for some reason, I noticed during the edit that I pronounced the word chauffeur. I don't know why. That's just annoyed me, and I thought, I don't know why I said that.
Some people pronounce words weird.
We also got it wrong when we were discussing Finsta, and I thought it was like Food Insta, and you didn't know what it was at all. But
I've spoken to a number of people who all knew what it was. So.
The kids, yes. Come on, Gramps, get down with it. It's a thing, apparently.
Fake Insta. It's basically, I think, when you use a burner account on Instagram. Right.
I'm wearing my lack of knowledge as a badge of honour.
Indeed. It's going on the cover of the podcast.
I think
we didn't know what Finsta was. We know what Insta is.
Anything else?
No.
Let's crack on.
So the episode under the direction of a familiar face starts with a series of stylized stills of Alex and Charlie on the run.
I liked this photography.
They used it a couple of times.
They do the sort of the pause, and it's a grainy shot. It does give a vibe of decades gone by.
Yes, it's clearly a resurrected technique.
And there's a score that to me sounded very much, you can tell us all, you've got that trivia, who it was, but it sounded very much like Sunshine of Your Love by Cream, if you're aware of that very famous, iconic riff.
It's not what is listed in the soundtrack.
No, it's not. It's not at all, yeah. No. I can tell it wasn't. Okay. It's just
evocative of.
Very much so.
Okay.
Our pair are struggling to find Hasp's home with a map, and the frantic Alex wants Charlie to use her phone, despite the obvious problem that would create. I think in this day and age, asking if you're being tracked by anyone, especially the FBI, everyone knows you should. Even when your phone's not on, they can. Charlie, we saw at the end, she smashed her phone. Yeah, she should know this. Well, she does know this.
Yeah, but she is persuaded, and as soon as she turns it on, Luca phones, and I like the fact that he's still listed in her phone as Agent Fake Nephew.
Yes,
from Time of the Monkey.
They have been constantly calling the FBI, that is, and the cynical agent. What's her name again?
Milligan, I think.
Okay, Milligan. She sniggers that it's a waste of time as Charlie won't answer. But when she does, Luca immediately tells Charlie that she was right and explains the whole Iguana situation while they try and trace the call.
I assume this is not how you trace a car. In fact, I'm pretty certain this is not how they actually trace a car. But what they got is a map of America and a ring that gradually closes in on the location.
Ever decreasing circles, you might say. Did you ever watch that sitcom with Timmy Briers and Penelope Wilton?
No.
Or Wilton, yeah. I used to love that. Sad.
Okay. Ever decreasing circles?
Yeah, it's really good. Anyhow. Yeah, I think it's one of these, a bit like hackers or hacking in general. It's a really boring, technical. So when you do it in the movies, you have to create these visuals that explain or entertain.
You're probably just getting a GPS off of a cell tower.
Yeah.
It's a set of numbers. Anyhow, Luca, as you say, starts talking to Charlie and explains that Kirby was killed by the iguana, and then explains in detail to Charlie who that is and what it means.
Yeah, he tells him that it was the iguana's plan all along.
I don't think that can possibly be the case.
No.
From what he knows.
Yeah, she nervously herself disputes that he could have known that she would head to Hasp's place. But Luca simply states that, well, he knows that she is the only person that can lead them there. I'm not one to blow I'm not one for it, as you know, Ian. I can't reach for a start. But I messaged you before I watched this saying, listen, I think I know what's going on here.
You did not know what was going on here?
I did.
You were wrong.
My first guess was partially right, and then before I watched it, I got it completely right. So I said to you, well, at first I thought, is Alex the iguana? In that, is this the iguana wearing prosthetics
to look like Alex?
Because we've seen before that he'd done the whole Talachi.
See, that would have worked better if he'd actually peeled the face off the first guy, like I suggested last week.
Yeah, but then I immediately thought, that's even for the show just now being a bit surreal, it's far too Scooby-Doo.
The physical difference as well would be hard for even a skilled impersonator to overcome.
Yes, and then I thought, and I said to you, okay, is Alex working alongside the iguana?
Well, that's not true either.
Well, it is true technically. They're working together.
Okay.
Or they were working together.
In a way.
My point being was that I said Alex is the baddie. I knew straight away that Alex was a wrong'un.
When you say straight away, after 4 episodes...
No, okay, this is unfair. There is no way that we could have even been considering this situation.
2 episodes ago, they literally played the song Warning over Alex and Charlie having a conversation.
Yeah, looking back now, this is an episodic show. Up until this point, it's unfair. It's not.
You weren't intended to know. The whole point was that you should.
But as soon as there was any suspicion,
some of the old Reddit sleuths will have been on to it.
Yeah, I don't believe half of them. But as soon as we knew there's something was going on, I said she's the baddie.
As soon as they showed you that she was a baddie, you were all over it.
You told me to stop before because I'd guessed it before. Yes. Anyhow.
Okay.
And I also made the point was the reason why is. Once you consider it, she has inserted herself into Charlie's life, and also took a note here. She was being very careful never to lie, so that obviously Charlie trusts her. That's a weird situation, or an unusual situation.
It wasn't what she was doing, but okay.
Okay, I just noticed. And again, watching this live, I don't know the answer right now.
Okay. Charlie at this point makes Alex cover her ears because she wants to tell Luca that she is convinced Alex is marked for death.
Yes, from either the hitman or the mob, which of course Alex hears because she's not covered her ears properly.
No, of course, and why would she? Because she's an adult.
So Luca tells her to come in as the iguana is a master of disguise.
That made me think of when my son was young, say 12 years ago. He watched a cartoon called The Backyardigans, and they had a song called Le Master of Disguise, a Frenchman who was a master of disguise, and it stuck in my head for many years, and in fact I can still hear it now, and that was what came to mind immediately when they mentioned The Master of Disguise. There
is a movie called, I think, The Master of Disguise, a truly atrociously bad, but so bad it's good, with what you call him from Wayne's World, Garth.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's all he's done, really.
It's if you get a chance to watch it, it's something worth seeing.
So
anyway.
They overemphasise at this point the fact that the iguana could look like anybody, which might tip some people off if they're still catching up.
And then sends her a video.
Yes, it shows the fake Todd's prosthesis, which Charlie can't quite make out, but she says only a psycho would recognise, which Alex immediately does.
Yes. And at this point I've noted to myself, will there be a usual suspects flashback of the clues? And I think again, I nailed it there pretty much as well.
I loved The Usual Suspects when I was a teenager, but obviously you can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, it's got issues, hasn't it?
It's kind of ruined now.
Yeah.
Luca tells her that if she leads the iguana to Hasp, she will spend the rest of her life in federal prison, especially given the fact he has told her not to do it and she has no excuse.
Also, I mean, another little clue here was that when he's talking about this Master of Disguise, we can see Alex staring at her.
Yeah.
So He asks her where Hasp is, but she hangs up and they lose the trace before they could get a sort of pinpoint accurate location on them. Although they do know that they're where.
They're in Indiana. They're not sure if that's where they're going to end up, but that's where they are right now. But there are 25 safe houses in Indiana.
Yes, and then we find out that the cynical agent is certainly not interested in discussing her personal life with Agent Luca F. and Clark, because I think he mentions the fact that
He
she's...
tried to sympathise with her, because obviously last episode the big guy told him that was why she was in a mood. But why would you bring it up?
He's not reading the person, I suppose.
He's not an empathetic sort of guy.
Back in the road, Charlie pulls over and lights a cigarette, so she's off the vapes now. It's the serious stuff.
Oh yes, it's getting hardcore now. She thinks that Luca is right and this could be a setup.
Alex, however, points out that they don't know this, but then agrees that they can't risk leading an Uber assassin to Hasp's front door and suggests coming up with a new strategy at the next truck stop over coffee and pie.
That seems like a good idea.
Coffee and pie is always a good idea.
Especially pecan pie.
Oh yeah.
What's your favourite kind of pie?
I like an apple pie. I like any sort of pie, really.
Yeah. I don't like flaky pastry in an apple pie.
Yeah, I like it more stodgy.
Well, short crust or something along those lines, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, at the truck stop, and this is weird because they say there's a truck stop coming up, it's clearly nighttime, but when they get there, it's bright daylight.
On a 10-hour drive, coming up might be an hour and a half, 2 hours away, in which time dawn can break.
Makes sense. So I think this is what we're saying. This is now the morning after the wedding.
Yes. And we see that the Barracuda struggles to start.
It's been struggling for a while and it continues to do so. It seems to be at the end of the road.
When they get there, they anxiously remind themselves that the Iguana could be anyone as they walk past an assortment of different characters in a very paranoid state.
Yes, well, I liked the way that they demonstrated the paranoia through the direction of the episode. The two of them, and particularly Charlie, was seeing iguanas everywhere.
I tell you what this reminded me of as well. If you've seen Jewel, the Steven Spielberg
probably have it
movie,
as well.
He stops at a truck stop and he's trying to figure out who the sort of killer driver is, and everyone is a potential suspect, and he's there. That's a great example of how you can show paranoia.
Yeah. I understand that the next part inside the truck stop is lifted almost directly from another movie, which I'll talk about in the trivia later on.
Okay.
Because there's more about it than we've got time to go into right now. We get this freeze frame photograph effect again as they go in, including a brilliant one of Charlie behind a kid dressed as a clown.
Yes. Well, firstly, Alex heads in, but Charlie, she stays out for a smoke.
She gives her order to Alex. This is kind of a weird situation. So she gives an order to Alex, but then she goes in when she starts to freak out outside and orders herself. Anyway.
Oh, they're not thinking clearly, are they? They're not really.
And then Alex joins her at the table without saying, I thought you were waiting outside.
Okay, so inside, her paranoia increases as people walk past, and she sits in a booth before being interrupted from watching this creepy kid in the clown mask, in the mirror, I think, as well, by a waitress offering coffee. She accepts and orders burgers and fries and jokes about Xanax, but the waitress, she doesn't think it's a joke.
No, there's a guy in the parking lot offering them buy one, get one free.
And Alex at this point joins her just at the same time as some suspiciously quick fries.
Alex has bought them both beanie hats celebrating the Grand Canyon, as we heard at the top of the show.
Before asking her what their next move is.
So any ideas cooking?
I don't know. Me and the fries are working on it.
We can't lead a trained killer to Hasp's store, but I can't stop thinking. I got myself in his shoes. We're the only one that can get him to Hasp. He's about to make a move, right? Force our hand, or gonna just grab us and beat it out of us.
All right, look. The way I figure it, all we have to do is stay safe until Hasp testifies. That's 2 weeks. After that, whoever it is that hired this Mr. Chameleon, he goes off to jail. All this becomes a moot point. Then, you and me, we go square this with Beatrix once she's out of danger.
That's right. And you already outran a bunch of mob guys before, right? Like, how hard can it be?
Yeah, and just eat your fries, Yeah. Is that how you got that?
Oh, this,
Counter.
Cute. Wait, what am I looking at?
Right hand. There.
Shit.
Just Same hand. It's the exact same position where the iguana had it cut. It's the right height. It's the right weight. It's him. I know it. Get your shit. Go, go, go.
Oyster girl!
He's gonna kill us! Please! He's trying to hurt me and my friend!
Hey! Hey! Oyster girl!
And at this point, the guy there who's shouting is viciously beaten by several locals as the cops arrive and our pair make their escape in the Cuda.
Yeah, do you think he deserved that?
No.
I mean, he is calling them Oyster Girl, which is a bit of a giveaway that you must be the iguana.
Yeah.
But also, it's not maybe the approach that you'd expect the iguana to take.
The most sophisticated hitman in the world just shouting Oyster Girl and chasing him in public. No, it's not. Mind you, the iguana did apparently do the old weekend at Bernie's. He thought that was fine.
Yeah, that's true. That wasn't the iguana.
No.
However, Charlie does think it's worked.
Yes, they're now in the car. She's full of adrenaline and is ecstatic at getting away and the savagery of the beating that was doled out.
Yeah, this is quite a naive position to take. She says they're now going to Hasp's to clear Alex's name because they've evaded the iguana.
Alex is not as jubilant.
Clearly.
She's
not as stupid.
Worried for her life, obviously.
You would think.
Meanwhile, Luca has called a meeting with 3 senior agents.
I love this scene.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're all FBI or from different...
No, they're quite specifically from different agencies because that's the triple lock on this safe house.
Including Darvel. She's the one who was quite compassionate.
She's FBI. She was compassionate until she got fed up with her training.
He wants them to give up their 3 individual code words so that Hasp's location can be identified, as they have to save her from this iguana.
The problem he has is that he has no evidence to support his assertions and there's nothing on the wires.
Yeah, I think Darvel makes the very good point that it's more likely the iguana wants him to do what he's doing, i.e. asking them to break a triple blind protection and lead him there themselves.
Yeah, he goes into a spiel about Charlie and her abilities, which the others find laughable.
I really enjoyed this. He talks of her being a crime-solving genius with a Sherlockian intellect and a bulldog stubbornness who has already compromised Hasp's location. Hardly genius. She posted it on Finsta.
Yeah.
They declined to agree to his request, especially when he warns them to ignore her at their peril before showing a picture of her at the beach wearing the beer hat.
Yes. They basically laugh him out of the room.
Of course, and you would. I think that's the reasonable position to take.
Yeah, they're not being stupid here. They are following what they can see. We find ourselves at Greenville, Indiana.
How does it describe itself?
I don't know how to describe itself.
Just 2 roads and a handful of houses, twinned with nowhere.
Oh, well.
They stop outside number 42.
Yes, as we saw on the political flyer on Finsta.
What's the plan?
Charlie's going to go in first and sort of clear the air and explain to Beatrix that she's brought the woman who's been accused of killing her son along, but there's a good reason.
However, she has a bad feeling, she admits this. And as she steps out of the car, she wonders why she is so nervous. Not really sure it's something to ponder. It's obviously, you should be nervous in this situation.
You're going to a mob boss whose son's just been murdered on a live stream.
And you're with the person who everyone assumes killed him.
Yes.
Yeah. She leans in and asks Alex for some gum. And as they both chew, Charlie sings the Big Red Jingle.
I take it this is something that's familiar to people in America. I've never heard of this, nor even of this type of product.
Yeah. Before telling Alex to hit the horn if there are any problems. Now, I think at this point, do we see there's a certain flavour? Is it a cinnamon?
Well, I think people in America must know it's cinnamon flavour. You don't get cinnamon flavour gum here.
Not really, no.
That is careless.
Yes, it will turn out to be so. So Alex watches as Charlie knocks on the door, and when she gets no answer, she starts to walk around the side. But on the way, we see Charlie come to an abrupt halt, and at the same time, we see Alex inside the car look ahead in distress at something that has apparently appeared in front of her.
Yeah, Charlie then hears the car horn sounding and runs back to the car.
Okay, so knowing that we shortly find out, what was the whole thing about Alex looking distressed at? Because we did see her react to something.
Yeah, her opportunity.
It's not weird to do when there's no camera in your face.
Oh no, that's her. No, they're both realising the same thing. They both realise about the gum at the same time.
Right,
at the same time, sorry.
Sure, yeah.
Which is stupid from Alex in the first place, because she tells us later she's following these lies. She's having to track all these lies. Why would you even buy cinnamon flavoured gum?
Was it her that bought it?
I assume so. She gave it to Charlie.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, for someone who's so meticulous.
She's putting herself in a difficult position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, she has created this character, this alter ego.
Yeah. Maybe she just really likes it.
If you did really like something,
but it seems like that would make a connection. You would think, I've said I don't like that, this will kill me.
Yeah.
Anyway. Charlie runs back to the car, having made this realisation, had this epiphany, but Alex is not there, and Charlie is very worried.
She looks around in horror at the eerily normal setting before heading back to the side door of the house. And then things take a terrible turn when she can't get in and instead sees blood dripping from above.
Yes, there appear to be some special agents at the property, which I suppose you might have anticipated.
On the back porch, she finds another with a knife through their back. And I thought this was very well done. There's a great use of the emphasis. You hear children's voices playing in the background, but that's brought to the front. So that's like the soundtrack, that's the score here.
Yeah.
And I think it gives that juxtaposition of banality, normal and
suburban living.
Yeah, and the horror that's unfolding in front of her and inside her inside her mind.
Well, she realises what she's done.
Yes. So inside, the TV is still on, and there is a third victim, this time with a knife through the skull.
Right through his head.
Yes. We've seen this shot before, I think. It's like Cluedo.
Yes.
There's an overhead.
I really liked it.
Yes, of her moving from room
so we
to
see
room.
more than she sees, because we can see into other rooms before she gets to them. And we can see Hasp sitting in her armchair.
With a bullet through her forehead. At first I thought, is this a fake?
It was not.
But it's not a fake, no.
Charlie comes round and finds this as well.
But before she can take all of it in, she hears a whimpering Alex with a gun to her temple at the doorway. And I immediately, did you ever have this done to you? I do it to my kids, or used to when they're younger. So you stand half behind the door and you put your hand over your head and pretend to be pulling yourself back.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, it was quite obvious what was going on here. And it's obvious to Charlie because she dismissively calls them her skink.
I don't know what that means.
No. And tells them to come out. She knows why they're there. As we cut away to black, accompanied by a tense rising score. And when we return, we have the perhaps not so surprising, but still great reveal.
I was just fucking with you. Couldn't resist.
And you'll be dying of anaphylaxis caused by a fatal cinnamon allergy.
I'm severely, deathly allergic to cinnamon.
All true.
You know what's funny? The amount of lies I've told you, the amount of mundane, made-up details I've had to keep track of, it has been bonkers. I never expected I'd get taken down by a stick of Big Red, though.
Always wondered if you were out there. And now I found you. The one person in the world who can lie to me.
Technically, I found you.
Okay, so how do you do it? Is there like a trick or something? Like you only use certain words, so technically you're not lying?
No, I've lied to you. Over and over.
Cool. So you're the world's biggest sociopath. Jesus. Yeah, okay. Sudden hot flash, you mind? I'm of an age. Fucking Christ. Really, Alex. Man. And all for this, right? All to get to Beatrix Hasp. I mean, Jesus, lady. Wasn't there an easier way? I'm doing the math here, seems like a lot of work. You invented a whole other person. Is there anything that you didn't lie to me about?
Yes, there was one thing. I wasn't lying at the wedding. When we first met, I really was at an all-time low.
At this point, Alex gets to do a big exposition dump going over her entire career.
Yeah, it's comically dark, and we have flashbacks where she explains that she's been a hired killer her entire life and has ended some of the most high-profile people in the world, but said no to the Pope.
Yeah, they weren't offering her enough money. She tells a story about the moment she met her sort of realisation of utter boredom. She'd travelled 100 miles on foot into the Alaskan tundra and wrestled a polar bear to death in order to find a CEO in a panic room, and it did not satisfy her.
Yeah, this particular job, it wasn't guilt or regret that changed her. It was boredom.
Yes. She then tells a story about the moment that changed everything. We see her in her, presumably, home with the polar bear's carcass as a rug on the floor as she cuts into her own hand.
She genuinely is at a low. She's self-harming here.
Trying to feel something.
Luckily, at this point, she gets a call from her agent, who's a real...
Yes, he calls her Iggy, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah. Iggy is maybe Ziggy.
He tells her about the Beatrix Hasp hit, which she's not interested in.
Until being told about Charlie and their gift, and so she accepts the challenge.
Back in the present, she explains to Charlie that she hasn't been caught in a lie since she was 5, and even then, that was only because she did not realise you can kill witnesses.
Yes, and we do get the usual suspect-style flashback showing the mix-up with the coffee when they first met, and that was in fact her testing herself to see if she could pass off a lie.
Yeah, she talks about the total suppression of her involuntary responses. However, we've seen Charlie detect lies over the phone before and on camera and stuff, so would that do it? Does it fit?
I don't know. Everyone needs a nemesis, don't they?
Well, I suppose that's the whole point, isn't it? Successfully lying to Charlie was a rush for her, and she had to sleep it off for about 26 hours.
Yeah, the challenge seems to have reinvigorated her lust for death.
She says this feeling must be what great sex is like, but she doesn't do physical pleasure, so she can't be certain.
No, I mean, there is a sort of erotic tension here, sexual tension. We should say she's wearing all leather, and she's sort of writhing around as she's discussing this. And by this point, she's actually standing behind Charlie, and she's got her hair in her hand with the gun at her head, as she continues by admitting that lying to her never got any easier. And in fact, she knew that she could easily slip up, and I think that's obviously kept her on her toes, and this is what kept her energised.
She was aware she was only just getting away with it. But she got a lucky break.
What was that?
When Brick murdered Rodney.
Yeah, she was able to take the role of the kooky little Watson and earn her trust.
That made life easier for her.
Yeah, she was able to crack the Charlie code. Or what is Charlie?
She's an incurable do-gooder. She just wants to help the downtrodden. But Charlie puts it a different way. She thinks she just likes people.
We also should note that she's been studying her in great detail. Just like with Tolache, the teacher, she has collected images of all Charlie's previous, or many of our previous encounters.
Yes.
This visibly upsets our hero, and with a crack in her voice and a tear in her eye, she is not embarrassed to accept that she just likes people, even if they are classified as losers by her.
Alex points out that there's no reason for her to feel this way because people just lie to her all the time.
And mocks her by repeating her fictitious claim that there is no point in lying, as you would be talking to no one. That's what she had told. That was her excuse for not lying to her in the past. She then twists the knife by sneering at how much she loved the notion that Alex was the one person who didn't lie to her.
Yes. She explains that the next part of her plan was to get into the kind of trouble that only Beatrix Hasp could get her out of.
Yeah, she describes how she hired the world's second greatest assassin to kill Kirby and frame her, knowing that Charlie would then lead her to Hasp to fix it.
Yeah, so we see a different perspective of the incident from last week where he's on the phone to the person that hired him.
And if you remember, this set a marble for me. I mentioned the fact that whenever you use a voice disguiser, there's a reason, because it's someone who we know. In fact, I said often it's a woman as well.
You did. So we see her ending or coming off that call just as she enters the boathouse to be pinpointed as the patsy, and we then see the second incident where he goes to inject her, but it did not go well for him.
No, she turned round and sliced his throat. Charlie is still puzzled about the truck stop, and Alex admits that she had to improvise
Yeah, she went into the gents and asked the guy if he wanted an oyster, which is what got him to call her Oyster Girl, and then cut his hand when he turned around to match the wound that fake Todd had.
However, Charlie is still in awe about the level of planning that she went to.
Well, my initial impression still stands, I mean. All that for a mob hit. Like, do you get paid by the hour or something?
All because of you, Charlie Kayla. The greatest challenge of my career. You gave me a reason to live.
Wow. Well, here's some honesty for you. Even now, hearing you say those words, it still just sends a little zing through my heart. I guess I can't suppress that root of my humanity stuff, which is, it's kind of fucked up, but it's also kind of a relief in a way, you know? It means I'll never be you.
I really wish I didn't have to kill you.
Yeah, shit. Well, I figure that might be coming. But hey, won't killing me mean that you got nobody left to light your fire, and you just gotta go back to that meaningless thrum of nihilistic dread?
Probably. What did you do?
Oh, me? Oh, I lit your fire.
So what did Charlie do?
So we saw her on her way in see that there was food on the hob, and what's happened is she's turned the heat up underneath it, and that set off a smoke alarm which shows Luca which of the safe houses they are at.
Alex has to concede this was very clever. And so Luca wants all units sent to that location and to be prepared for a war, but does concede that Hasp is probably dead.
Yeah, I think he's the only one that thinks that at this stage, but he will be proven correct. He is going to head over there, but before he can get there, the local cops arrive first.
As Charlie is walked out with a gun to her head and forced into the Barracuda. Over their radios, the cops are ordered not to engage as they screech off with Alex driving while still pointing the gun at Charlie.
Luca has somehow made up the 10-hour journey in the next 5 minutes there.
Helicopter?
Well, maybe. He's now in a SUV of some kind chasing after Charlie, but he wants to hold off from taking down the Barracuda to give her a chance to put into play whatever plan she must have.
Yeah, the local cops, they're right behind her. They're not chasing, they're just following at a safe distance.
Yep.
And they're obviously, their intent would be to shoot out the tyres or whatever, bring the car to a stop, but he says no. Now inside, Charlie asks if Alex has a plan and doesn't have the same confidence that she does when she declares that she won't be caught.
Yeah, Charlie doesn't think this intersects with reality in any way.
Cynical agent tells Luca that she has an order.
Still not got her name.
No, that she has an order from the top to take the car out.
The very top.
And refuses to speak with the director as it does come from. So what is that, the president?
Potentially, or maybe just the director. Alex, at this point, tells Charlie that they have reached the end of the road, which is the only reference really to the episode title. Yeah,
it's because that having fooled their nemesis, there is nothing left for Alex.
Yeah, but Charlie knows now that she is lying. She can tell once again.
Now, further along the road, we see that a stinger has been laid across.
Yes, rather than driving over it, Alex turns.
Yes, onto a dirt road heading for the Grand Canyon.
Yes, they go full. Well, it's somewhere between Thelma and Louise and the Reichenbach Falls.
Yes.
I think.
So we find out that it leads to the overlook. It's a cliff.
Yes, and the road is out.
With 500 feet to go, Alex offers Charlie a chance to live by playing a game of two truths and a lie. And if Charlie wins, she will become the Sherlock to her Moriarty.
Yes, and Charlie does indeed win by sniffing out the one lie in Alex's...
Okay, so, what's the three statements?
I can't remember the two truths.
She had a dog named Puddles. She is double jointed and she is going to drive them off a cliff regardless. So with the tension peaking and the edge getting closer, Charlie calls the first two true and the third BS. Alex smiles as she tells her she has won and then slams on the brakes.
However, the Barracuda's failings come to the fore.
Alex lets out a scream which is not a good, not a good sign.
No, not what you want to be hearing. The brakes are out. The car is not going to slow, and they are going over the edge.
Yes, well, it slows for us in slow motion. We see it leap over into the air before the frame freezes, and we are told that the story will be continued.
Yes, I think this may have gone to ad break, as we mentioned earlier on, and as remotes around the world are retrieved from the holes in the walls that they've made, we rewind slightly. King of the Road plays.
Yes, as different close-ups of the old car are shown, as well as a screaming Luca. We see a freeze frame on him. I really did like this sort of stylised imagery. But it appears we were faked out, as the film is then rewound and replayed. And this time we see that Charlie managed to jump and roll to partial safety, just like Sam did in Quantum Leap, Return of the Evil Leaper, and as I mentioned earlier on, as Mr. Man did in Jewel.
A number of others, I think. Kirk in the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie does this, and there's probably a dozen others. She does the whole thing where she falls off the edge herself, but is able to cling on and then is rescued by her one true friend.
Yes, Luca pulls her up, and full of adrenaline, Charlie exhales and said that they didn't do too bad for a double team under 5'5".
I do enjoy the fact that he claims to be 5'7", and she says she's going to allow this one lie.
Yes.
Given the circumstances. They do embrace at this point, and Charlie explains why Alex was able to lie to her.
Yeah, so they confirm with each other what has been going on before Luca has to answer his radio.
Agent Park, any sign of the suspect?
Back up. I don't see anyone up here.
That bullshit. Oh, sorry about that. Reflex.
Charlie, it's a stroke of luck. I found you first. They're sweeping the canyon.
You could get me out of this, right? You could just tell them. I was trying to help, right?
You just aided and abetted a serial killer. You got a federal witness killed. You revealed the location of a Witsec safe house. If I keep listing the federal crimes you've committed, they'll be here.
Okay, put it that way. Eesh.
You're officially wanted by the FBI.
Makes sense. Yeah.
2 miles south, there's a service road that'll take you back to the highway.
You let me go. Luca.
Call it a head start.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
This wind.
Yeah.
You look really cold.
No, it's okay. I'll be okay. It's a service road. 2 miles south. Yeah, I got it. It's cool. Yeah.
Take this.
Thanks, Luca. Okay.
Next time, Charlie, I will arrest you. I have to at this point. Hey, go now. No, scurry on. Yeah, go.
Okay.
Go a little faster, please.
Okay, I'm running, Luca.
Yeah.
That was great.
Just like that, she's back on the run. I don't think she's very happy about it.
No.
However, we can talk about what that means for the show in a moment once we wrap up the last few moments of the episode. Milligan, we see your favourite agent.
Cynical agent. Yeah, she's
down.
looking puzzled at the flames as Charlie has problems hitching a lift in her new FBI jacket.
Well, there's a critical thing here.
Yeah,
she looks at the car and finds there's nobody in it.
Do we see her?
Yeah, we see her look into the car, there's no bodies.
Is that not implied by
No, there's a clear shot of the car with nobody in it.
But she can't have got very far. They've
Well,
got agents everywhere.
From Milligan's point of view, they both managed to escape the incident. Back on the road, as you say, Charlie in her big FBI jacket. Where are they going to think she got that from if they catch her?
Is it maybe one of these things that you can buy? Like it's a,
But why would she have it? Like if she got caught straight away,
all right.
they're going to know Luca's given her this score.
Yeah, that, yeah, well, yeah.
Right. We assume she's going to get away. A dog follows her a bit like in the season 1 episode with the barbecue.
That was Racist Dog. Hopefully this one
Hopefully a bit
more tolerant.
Kind, yes. I think it gets credited in the credits as a dog called Root Beer, but I couldn't find anything about its career.
It's one of these little yappy things.
Yeah.
And again, like Columbo, a little dog sidekick.
Yeah. It's credited as the Scamp.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
In fact, she ditches the coat at this point.
At this point she does, yes. Yeah. A trucker with a familiar face to many picks them up and tells them that he is headed for Wichita, which is fine by Charlie.
That always only reminds me of Planes, Trains and Automobiles. That's where
Wichita?
There's
actually sorry, carry on.
Yeah, that's where they first landed in the snowstorm and they had to,
There's a lawn mowing and pressure washing channel on YouTube I watched that's based in Wichita.
Okay. She thinks it's as good as anywhere and gets in with Scamp.
Yeah.
Not sure if she calls it a Scamp, but maybe that'll become its name. I don't know.
Could be. That's the end of the series. Potentially the end of the show for all we know.
Well, it's obviously left itself open for further adventure should it get recommissioned.
Indeed, which has not yet happened as of
I'm sure it will, I think.
Well, if they want to make it, I suppose, yeah. Decent setup for another season. Kind of a reset. Do you view that as an admission that they got off track in this season?
Maybe admission's a bit strong, but maybe...
recognition, realisation.
Yeah.
It was better. Or maybe it's just they wanted to have this moment and now they're going back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it might well be that she settles down in season 4.
Do you feel that the Alex Iguana reveal was earned? Do you think they did seed it well enough?
If you look back now, obviously there are a couple of clues, but you could never have, unless you were looking for this.
I feel like maybe they should have seeded the Iguana earlier. Like, not Alex as the Iguana, but if they'd done something early in the season, mentioned this guy was out there.
But how would you have done that?
I don't know.
She's just in a
They're
normal
clever
environment.
people.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could do it, but it'd be...
You had the FBI conversations when Hasp's husband was killed and all that stuff. There could have been some talk about maybe the Iguana's active or something.
Potentially, yeah.
And overall, how do you think season 2 compares to season 1? It's very different in tone.
It's different, and I think when people expect a show to have that certain tone, even if it's not worse, people like what they like.
Yeah, so if you've loved season 1, you want more of season 1, and you didn't get it.
Yeah, but I mean, what I would say is this is a show that the music and the soundtrack's very important. I think you can draw parallels where you get the first album, people love that music, and they want more of the same, but
Difficult
you can't do
album,
you can't just do more of the same. You have and musicians want to try different things,
and they always do. I mean,
yeah,
some of the best albums in history are when a band's going in a completely different direction.
Okay, name one.
Park Life was Blur's 4th album, completely different to their first theme, was their big breakout.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. Although at gigs, people just want the hits, don't they? Want to hear your new album.
Yeah, play your big ones.
Songs, yeah. Rolling Stones.
And the Beatles famously did it as well, like Sgt. Pepper, complete departure from anything done before.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, shall we get into the trivia so that you can wrap up the series and we can talk about what we're doing next?
Are we doing something next? Okay.
Well, we'll get to that. Director this week, familiar face in Natasha Lyonne. Talked about her as an actor, as a director. Don't need to do any more of that, but I thought she did a good job with this. I really enjoyed some of the stylized stuff.
Something you didn't mention last week, but there is a connection. It's perhaps not the most positive of connections.
Okay,
but I'm going to say it anyway. So you've got Lily Taylor, who played the compassionate. What's her name? What's the
head FBI girl, yeah.
And obviously Natasha Lyonne. Michael Rappaport had issues with both Natasha Lyonne, and so he was charged with stalking Lily, his ex-girlfriend. That's Lily Taylor.
Okay.
So he got into trouble for harassment with her, and he also had to evict. I think I mentioned that evict Natasha Lyonne from one of his properties when she was perhaps at her lowest ebb in terms of her personal life.
He's been cancelled now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's recently. I mean, I used to listen to his podcast, but I've not for a while now.
Yeah. The writer of this one, I think there's some Ryan Johnson involvement, but it was written and credited to Laura Dealey, who you will remember from being credited for The Game is Afoot, and we talked about her when we covered that at the start of the season. Alex / the Iguana was played by Patty Harrison. She has been in things like Together Together, Rhea and the Last Dragon, Shrill, and I think recently she was in She-Hulk. She's a comedian. She gained exposure. She did an appearance on Jimmy Fallon where she mocked President Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military. Alex's agent, who we heard in voice only, not credited in the episode, but was voiced by Harvey Fierstein.
I know of. I've definitely seen him in Murder, She Wrote before.
Yeah, well, he's a Tony Award winner, appeared on screen in things like Mrs. Doubtfire, Independence Day, Murder, She Wrote. He's a voice in Mulan, Miami Vice. He was Emmy nominated for an appearance on Cheers.
Very distinctive.
Very. Mark Getzler. Not sure who Mark Getzler was in this episode. I think one of the agents, maybe. I think so, in the meeting, maybe.
Okay. Played
by director Adam Arkin from earlier in the series. You'll remember him from that, but also as an actor, he's been pretty ubiquitous since he was 12 years old. He's appeared in things like How to Get Away with Murder, Masters of Sex, Sons of Anarchy, The West Wing, and he got Emmy nominations for his work on Frasier, Northern Exposure, and Chicago Hope. We talked about him when he was directing, so I don't need to go into that. So Lou, the truck driver that picked Charlie up at the end, was played by singer Steve Earle.
Oh, yeah.
He has been married 7 times, twice to the same woman, divorced at least 6 times, not currently married so far as I am aware.
Probably best keeping it that way by history.
3-time Grammy Award winner, 22 studio albums. On screen, he's appeared in things like The Wire, 30 Rock, and was Emmy nominated for his role on Treme. Treme? Treme? I'm not sure. You'll have recognised Division Chief Wharton, the older man in the meeting with Luca. He was played by Gordon Clapp. He is an Emmy Award winner for his very long-running role on NYPD Blue. He's also been in things like Chicago Fire, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Cheers, and American Rust. A few different locations in this one, obviously. The diner on the road was the New City Diner in Nanuet. Hasp's safe house was 140 Union Avenue, Tarrytown. They did the police roadblock at Rockland Lake Road in Valley Cottage. The Thelma and Louise / Reichenbach Falls drive off the cliff was at the Callahan Nanini Quarry in Salisbury Mills. And the road where Charlie was picked up by the trucker was Congers Road Bridge in Congers. All of these in New York. So are you leaning more Thelma Louise for this? Or do you think Reichenbach? How do you think it's going to play?
Reichenbach.
You think she's going to be back?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So the diner scene, I promised you a bit more information on that, apparently is a direct maybe not left, but tribute to a film called Out of the Blue. That was a 1980 film that was restored after a crowdfunder that was led by Natasha Lyonne and Chloe Sevigny. Yeah,
we've mentioned that before. That's Linda Manns.
Okay. There was a scene filmed with Alex killing Hasp, but they didn't use that. Obviously, I think the way they did it was better. Ryan Johnson's done a fairly extensive interview in Rolling Stone talking about the end of this season and some of his other projects. I recommend reading it. Not going to go into all the things he says. A couple of things that he says is that the main focus this season of Poker Face was on the standalone episodes and the serialization aspect. He just refers to it as dusting. Okay. So they really weren't thinking about the arc so much as the individual stories they were telling this season, which kind of goes back to that Quantum Leap influence that we talked about a couple of episodes ago, I think. And the season was deliberately a bit sillier than season 1, which is a stylistic choice that not everyone will agree with. But I think there were times when it worked out that we enjoyed things like the alligator and stuff when it happened.
For sure, yeah.
As of now, like we say, season 3 not being confirmed, but it'd be pretty surprising if it didn't happen. Episode title, pretty self-explanatory, End of the Road in many different ways. Music, so we think we started off with Inagada da Vida by Iron Butterfly. We heard Roger Miller doing King of the Road, and the outro was It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, which is a Dylan song. I'm not sure it was Dylan that was singing it.
Very Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and it was followed by Charlie's theme at the very end. Do you want to go over your highs and lows from the season very briefly? I
don't think there's many lows. I mean, if you're picking out some of the favourite episodes, we've got quite a few to choose from, actually. Looking back over it now,
yeah, I think you just automatically go to what is stuck in your mind. So for me, the first episode was a standout with Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah, that was very good, yeah. The second episode, Last Looks. And
yes, another strong one with Katie Holmes and Giancarlo Esposito.
Obviously, The Taste of Human Blood with the alligator.
I quite like Sloppy Joseph.
Yeah, Sleazy Georgian, I like that, and I suppose New Lease on Death was good as well, and the sort of two parts of to end.
I enjoyed Alex as well as a character. I enjoyed her work with Charlie. They worked well together.
I said I'm going to be disappointed that we won't have a chance. Well, we will. They'll be together again, I suspect, but I would like to have seen them working as a pair.
Patty Harrison was actually performing at Edinburgh recently, part of the Fringe. Did not know about it, did not go and see her.
I would have went. Stand-up or what?
Yeah.
I would have went, yeah. Okay.
I think it's a lot of trans-influenced stuff as one of the leading trans people in show business these days.
Would make sense.
Yeah. So next time, there is no more Poker Face to talk about for now. There is a new season of Matlock coming surprisingly and disappointingly quickly. Given our schedule.
We're trying to take our breath here, yes.
So, October, apparently, season 2 of Matlock's going to be on.
We have in the past mentioned our new project. We'll quickly summarise it again. So we've had lots of requests over the years for different shows and for many different reasons, but mainly the length of these shows, we can't do it. So, for example, Murder, She Wrote has hundreds of episodes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're just going to pick random episodes. We might do it in sort of order, like from season 1, season 2.
We've already done some polling in terms of types of shows you might be interested in, specific shows you might be interested in, feel free to fire more of those at us.
Well, what we'll try and do, I think, you might pick a show, I might pick a show, and then we'll pick for a season. See if we do a 6-episode season, and we'll pick an episode from the listeners that they've recommended. We've still not quite worked out the small print or the
who's, whys,
granular details, how we'll work this, but that's the plan. We'll look at some of the classic shows that we've been requested over the years.
Yeah. So the big point is we're going to squeeze out a season of that before we do Matlock. Because we don't need to do Matlock as soon as it airs. Because we didn't last season, we ran a wee bit behind.
And the good thing, like this, doing it in this way, is that it's basically our show in the sense that we can decide how long a season lasts. So if we want to just do 6 episodes, maybe season 2 will be 12 episodes or 10, depending on what we're doing.
We might do a Matlock and do 18 when you don't expect it. But yes, that's the plan. We will do season 2 of Matlock, but first of all, we're going to do this new concept, and we will be in communication with you on the usual social media channels. We're at Columbo Podcast on Blue Sky, X, Instagram, Facebook, and all the standard places, and hopefully we will get some interaction on that one.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay, so what have we got next week?
Well, nothing.
A week off.
A week off. Well, you can do some editing. Yeah.
So until we meet again,
cheerio.
Bye-bye.